Hello and welcome. My name's Chris Cann with Mining News and Mining Journal, and with me I have Ian Bamborough, Managing Director of Saturn Metals.
Hi.
Saturn is a relative newcomer to the WA Goldfields, but has 1,000 square kilometres of prospective ground and a resource of 1.5 million ounces at its flagship Apollo Hill project in the Eastern Goldfields, following a spin-out from Peel Mining several years back now. Welcome, Ian.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having us on.
Our pleasure. Apollo Hill is located in an interesting spot, both from a geological perspective and from a corporate perspective. Can you give us a bit of colour around the positioning of your flagship asset?
Yeah, geologically we sit in what I'd describe as a kind of key or core strategic position on the Wiluna Norseman belt. And this particular piece of ground, I think you mentioned 1,000 square kilometres, has a very succinct exploration history in that there genuinely is or has been no exploration for various sort of, land access reasons which have been overcome by our predecessor Peel and ourselves, which has opened up a genuine greenfields terrain in the heart of the Eastern Goldfields on perhaps the most prolific greenstone belt on one of the best structures, called the Keith-Kilkenny lineament. We straddle the entire thing, and to the south of us we've got mines like Carasue Dam. To the north of us we've got Gwalia, Thunderbox, and I think just a beautiful terrain for finding the next major discovery, irrespective of our kind of key project there, which as you mentioned, about 1.5 million ounces already. Corporately, strategically, I suppose we do sit in, if you want, one of the last bastions of arguably unconsolidated terrain in the Goldfields. You'd have seen recently, I suppose, transactions with Dacian and Genesis and St Barbara. There's been news about Red 5 and St Barbara talking to each other. So it's certainly been a focus of, I suppose, consolidation play in the region. And, there's a reason for that. There's a maturity in the district, in some of those mines, a number of mills, economies of scale and sensible mining economics driving that consolidation. But still, I suppose for us, very much, I think, irrespective of that picture that's going around us, make the point that Apollo Hill is new, untouched, undeveloped, and has quite a different development pathway.
So you've got 1.5 million ounces or near enough at Apollo Hill. You're looking at development there, you're assessing that at the moment, but as you touched on, you've also got the regional play. How are you juggling those two priorities there?
Yeah, balance. Don't juggle with balance. So I think it is important for me. I think what we have at Apollo Hill with, there's 1.5 million ounces in a bulk tonnage heap leach mining scenario, which does differentiate us, I suppose, particularly in Australia. It's not such a commonly used method in Australia. Not that it is in the other parts of the world. 46% of the world's gold is produced by heap leach, so it's not new or rocket science or anything like that. And this particular ore body does lend itself to those bulk tonnage, low strip, big selective mining unit, low unit cost type of operation, and a very simple. Apollo Hill itself is a simple asset. All those ounces are contained in one big single simple pit. So that balance that I talk about, I think this morning there was an ASX announcement came out where we've talked about how we're pushing the boundaries of that deposit laterally, and we continue to grow it, and we continue to hit those leverage points under the existing pit shell. At the same time, we have our development studies underway, where we have this year we're planning a resource upgrade before mid-year, off the back of recent drilling, some fantastic metallurgical test work, which has really provided us with this kind of step change in processing route and cost structure to the deposit, and that off the back of that resource upgrade, also our first preliminary economic assessment, which we're hoping to publish in June, and provide a picture around what this asset could really be. The other part of the balance is, that asset is arguably heading towards kind of, my vision for this thing is a kind of 100 million ton, 10 million ton per annum operation. It's not small, and the footprint of Apollo Hill itself is not too dissimilar to the Kalgoorlie Super Pit, or at least the first kind of phase of cutbacks of Kalgoorlie Super Pit. It's not till you stand on this thing you get a feel for the scale. But along with that kind of PEA, which will move, or scoping study, which will move into PFS in the second half of this year, we also have congruously, we're running a pilot, a bulk sample pit and pilot plant study, where we hope to take literally what's 100th of this particular project and mine it and process it, and I suppose really de-risk the bigger project. Beyond that, as you mentioned, the regional exploration, and we do have that pure greenfields land package in some of the best terrain, and right now we've got 25,000 metre programme underway, hitting areas which have never been touched, and on some very different geological theories, and perhaps even throwing the theories out the window and looking in terrains for gold deposits around other gold deposits.
Sounds like that bulk sample is at the centre of everything that you're really hoping to achieve over the next 12 to 18 months. What do you need to see, Ian, from the results from this program to really encourage you and to make sure that you're progressing as you hope?
Yeah, look, the first thing we've chose to do is we've basically designed a pit, which I think started as a concept with me. There's a very bad mining engineer drawing a little pit shell on a thing, and then we've since given that to some proper mining engineers who've done it properly. We've then taken that shell and used it to provide a grade control pattern. We've already had one announcement out, which is showing the tenor of the grade control results coming out of that, and some serious intersections from surface. There's about 100 holes gone into this thing. Assay is pending now, and I think what we want to see from that is basically a mining reserve with a beautiful picture of the gold opportunity that sits in that deposit, and that can be taken and put on a pilot heap leach plant at scale, and really show to people that this processing technology is, I suppose, like I say, standard fare in the rest of the world, but in this particular deposit works. We've got our cost structures. It gives us an opportunity to look at this deposit, I suppose, from socially, economically, geotechnically, mineral processing wise. It's almost like a bit of a pre-commissioning phase for the bigger project, and it's all going to be run in conjunction and alongside our PFS and BFS processes, so that it provides that information flow and excitement. And I think it was just going to bring a huge information stream and confidence to the deposit.
Ian, plenty to look forward to for investors. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks, Chris.